Welcome to the channel, Mystic Echoes. The Maesters' Deception, Laenor Veloryon's Hidden Story. Anyone interested in the story of the Dance of the Dragons and the preceding events might believe that Laenor was homosexual and did not father Adam, Alan, Jace, Luke, and Joffrey. This conclusion is not far-fetched. Archmayster Gyldayn, citing 3 sources, spreads rumors that Laenor was not attracted to women. Additionally, his wife Rhaenyra had an affair with Harwin Strong, and Rhaenyra's first 3 sons do not exhibit Velaryon characteristics. However, upon closer examination, it becomes evident that Gyldayn fabricated claims about Laenor's sexuality, Rhaenyra's personal life, and the alleged absence of Velaryon features in Jace, Luke, and Joffrey. Ser Laenor Veloryon had 5 sons. He fathered 3 legitimate sons, Jace, Luke, and Joffrey Velaryon, with his wife, Rhaenyra, and 2 illegitimate sons, Adam and Alan, with his lover, Merilda. But Gyldayn states that Jace, Luke, and Joffrey Velaryon are the children of Ser Harwin Strong, while Adam and Alan are the sons of Lord Corlys Velaryon. He suggests these claims are credible because Laenor was reportedly homosexual and not interested in women. Harwin, as Rhaenyra's champion, was very close to her and remained a constant presence. Meanwhile, Corlys, Laenor's father, frequently spent time at Merilda's shipyard. Looking at the Targaryen ancestry chart, there's something weird going on in the family tree with Laena, Laenor, Jace, Luke, and Joffrey. Gyldayn mentions a rumor that Jace, Luke, and Joffrey's dad might not be Laenor but Harwin, Lyonel's son. According to Gyldayn's sources, this gossip is legit, and he dedicates a good chunk of his writings to highlight it. Let me share the details about Fire and Blood. It was written by George R.R. Martin, presenting the story from the viewpoint of Archmayster Gyldayn. The narrative is set in the Citadel, located in the heart of Old Town, under the influence of House Hightower. The setting is approximately 172 years after the Dance of the Dragons. Archmayster Gyldayn dug into a bunch of stuff while putting together the Dance of the Dragons story. He grabbed bits from Archmayster Orwyle, thanks to Archmayster Munkin and their book, The Dance of the Dragons, A True Telling, got the scoop from Mushroom the Court Fool and the testimony of Mushroom, picked the brain of Septon Eustace, the royal confessor, featured in the reign of King Viserys, first of his name, and the Dance of the Dragons that came after. Plus, he checked out what Grand Maester Runsider and the following Maesters had to say, sifted through court documents, royal decrees, and proclamations, and rounded it off with stories from the kids and grandkids of folks who survived the Dance of the Dragons. So, in the text, Gyldayn points out that Mushroom's and Orwyle's stories were kinda leaning towards Rhaenyra, while Septon Eustace was all about Team Aegon too. But here's the twist, Martin throws all 3 accounts at us to keep us guessing while dropping some sneaky hints about what really went down. Septon Eustace doesn't hold back on throwing shade at characters like Daemon, Aemond, Aegon II, Rhaenyra, Corlys, you name it. But surprisingly, he's cool with the Old Town crew, Hightower, Citadel, and Starry Sept. Now, Mushroom? That guy writes for pure entertainment, but Gyldayn takes his words as gospel truth. And Mushroom? Well, he's got something bad to say about everyone, except himself, of course. And Orwyle? Supposedly Mr. Neutral under King Viserys, playing it fair between blacks and greens. But his actions? Total giveaway. King Viserys was practically stuck in bed under his watch, handing more power to Otto and the Green Team. Plus, Orwyle's got some highborn status, but the book conveniently leaves out which house. Maybe he's a Hightower or some close kin to them. Although Gyldayn claims to have utilized court documents, royal decrees, proclamations, and various second- and third-hand accounts from the offspring of those who survived the Dance of the Dragons, he seldom relies on them. Instead, he consistently turns to Orwyle's, Eustace's, and Mushroom's accounts. Take, for instance, the Second Battle of Tumbleton, even though none of them actually witnessed the battle. Right now, in stuff like the Rogue Prince, the Princess and the Queen, the world of ice and fire, fire and blood, and all that, House Targaryen isn't running the show in Westeros anymore. House Velaryon is kinda just a small fry now, but House Hightower is still one of the big shots in the Seven Kingdoms. In A Clash of Kings, House Lannister tossed some land over to House Hightower after the Battle of the Blackwater, even though they didn't bother sending any troops into the mix. House Hightower definitely wouldn't let Maesters publish a book that could tarnish their rep or history. So maybe Gyldayn got strong-armed into reworking the Fire and Blood by House Hightower, but dropped some hints for readers to connect the dots on what went down. Gyldayn says as much in the books. And here we must digress to say a word about our sources, for much of what happened in the years that followed happened behind closed doors, in the privacy of stairwells, council rooms, and bedchambers, and the full truth of it will likely never be known. Septon Eustace and Mushroom do not always agree upon particulars, and at times their accounts are considerably at variance with one another, and with the court records and the chronicles of Grand Maester Runsider and his successors. Yet their tales do explain much and more that might otherwise seem puzzling, and later accounts confirm enough of their stories to suggest that they contain at least some portion of the truth. The question of what to believe and what to doubt remains for each student to decide. I think the Old Town Triad was low-key trying to boss around the folks in the Seven Kingdoms using trade, info, and religion. Septons and Septas were pulling the strings on the regular folks and commoners, like during the Dragon Pit incident. Maesters had a grip on both the smart and not-so-smart highborns and nobles. Remember that Maester handing over Luke's letter to Barros. In the next video, we'll dive deeper into the Old Town Maester scene and check out the ancestors of Jace, Luke, and Joffrey.